Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Adi and I am a second year medical student studying in the Philippines. So if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always watching my video, and if you've not subscribed yet, I don't know what you're still waiting for, so smash the subscribe button to get subscribed. Okay, so basically I make videos about life in medical school, what it's like to be a foreign student and a Nigerian in Philippines, and yeah, I basically share about those things on my vlog. Okay, so please consider subscribing. So today I'll just basically be sharing about the differences between studying medicine in Nigeria and also studying medicine in Philippines. So if this is something you would like to watch, or maybe you're considering the country to go for your medical school, so keep watching because this video is going to be very informative. So firstly, I'll start by telling you guys the various pathways on getting into medicine in these two different countries, that is in Nigeria and in Philippines. So basically in Nigeria, the medical school is 6 years. However, in Philippines, the medical school is 4 years. Then I'm going to break this down. So in Nigeria, after your secondary school, that is your high school, that you must have written your WAEC, that is your West Africa secondary school certificate examination. So after that, then you proceed to write your JAMB. So for non-Nigerians, JAMB is an examination we usually write immediately after high school. So based on your score from JAMB, that will determine if you would get into your course of choice. So basically after JAMB, you also write an examination known as post-JAMB. So post-JAMB is an examination given specifically by your school of choice. So whichever school you want to attend in Nigeria, they are also going to give you their own entrance examination. So that means you're writing 3 examinations: the WAEC examination, the JAMB examination, and the post-JAMB examination. The WAEC examination is an examination that if you pass it, it's for life. That means you've passed it. However, the JAMB and the post-JAMB are examinations written only once a year. So let's assume you failed JAMB. That means automatically you're not even qualified to write the second examination, which is the post-JAMB. And let's say you passed the JAMB examination and then you failed the post-JAMB examination. That means you also have to wait for another 1 year. So basically it's really competitive. These examinations are very competitive, and you see that's why you see a lot of students possibly they apply for medicine, and because of issues like this, it's either they don't get into medicine, they have to stay the next year to write the JAMB and the post-JAMB again, or even in some cases when they pass the post-JAMB but do not get the grade required for medicine, they are giving other courses that maybe they don't even like. So that's one of the situations with Nigeria. And so let's assume you pass these 3 examinations: the WAEC examination, the JAMB, and the post-JAMB. So if you pass these 3 examinations, that means you're qualified to get into medicine. So for people who are just leaving secondary school, the recommended or the official number of years to study medicine for them is 6 years in Nigeria. However, there is another pathway, the second pathway, which is basically for students who already have a first degree. Let's say first degree in biochemistry, microbiology, physiology, physiotherapy, all those related science courses. Let's say you've already completed a first degree, you have your bachelor's degree, and you're still interested to study medicine. For this second group of people, they also take another the examination of JAMB. However, in this case, they are going to take an exam called direct entry JAMB. So for them, instead of starting from first year of medical school, they are going to be joining the second year classes. That's if they pass the examination. So for students in that category, instead of doing the 6-year medical school, they are going to be doing 5 years instead, because they already have a first degree. So comparing to the Philippine system, I'm also going to break it down for you guys. I don't know if you guys have seen that video where I stated or I gave the reasons why I chose to study medicine in the Philippines. Just in case you've not seen that video, I'm just going to be linking it in the description box below. Make sure to watch that. Okay, so going forward, for Philippines, the Philippine system, they usually follow the American system. So that that means you can't get admitted directly into the medical school. You need to have a pre-med or a bachelor's degree. So for Nigerians or for foreign students, they actually have this pre-med program called BS Bio that runs for 1 year. In my school is actually 1 year, but I heard in other schools in Philippines some are like 1 year 6 months, you know. So for that program, it's called BS Bio, or it can be any program. I don't know what it's called in other schools, but in my school it's called BS Bio. That's Bachelor's of Science in Biology. So after you pass that program, that bachelor's program, it's called pre-med basically. So with your pre-med, then you can be qualified to apply to the proper med school. Med school here is basically 4 years. So that's the route, or that's the pathway for foreign students. However, for Filipinos, they are not allowed to take up that 1 year pre-med program. They actually go through their regular bachelor's program, maybe in nursing, in medtech, like depending on what you want. So after they must have completed their bachelor's program, then they are also qualified to apply to medical school. So let's say you're a Nigerian, you just finished secondary school and you want to study medicine in Philippines. It depends on what you want, but what I noticed is that most people go for that 1 year BS Bio, and after that then they now apply to medical school, which is 4 years. So that means for people who just finished secondary school in Nigeria who do the BS Bio program in Philippines, that means it will take them 5 years to graduate. However, there's also another pathway. Let's say you already have a first degree, maybe in biochemistry, microbiology, in just any course. The thing is, in the Philippine system, it's more like there are more wider options for you for your pre-med. So no matter the course you did in your pre-med, even architecture, so far you've already done a pre-med, you're also qualified to be admitted into the 4-year medical school. And that's the pathway I took. I already have a bachelor's degree back home in Nigeria. I studied biochemistry, so with my bachelor's degree in biochemistry, I was able to apply into the proper med school. Basically, it's left for you to know the option that works for you. So if you already have a first degree, I would really recommend that if you can afford to come to Philippines, then you should give it a shot, because you know that you're going to just have 4 years to do the med school program, and you're also sure that if they tell you 4 years in Philippines, I always say this, if they tell you it's 4 years, it's 4 years. So far you're passing your exams, you're passing your courses, you're not owing tuition. If they tell you 4 years, it's 4 years. So for people like me who already have a first degree back from Nigeria, if you can afford Philippines, I'll really highly recommend that you come here for your medical school. Okay. So another important point I would like to highlight in studying medicine in these two different countries are the admission process. So like I mentioned earlier, getting admission into a Nigerian medical school is very difficult because of the JAMB, the post-JAMB examinations I explained to you guys earlier before. It's really, really difficult. These exams are super tough, and also there are a lot of applicants like applying to study medicine. I'm just going to give you guys like an assumption using a figure. Let's say we have like 1,000 students applying to study medicine in a particular school. At the end of the day, by the time they finish the JAMB exam and the post-JAMB exam, they may end up taking maybe like 50 or 100 out of like over lots of students that applied. So what happens to the rest of the students that were not admitted? That means they'll have to wait again for the next year to apply again for the JAMB and the post-JAMB. And what are your chances that next year you're going to perform better than the previous year? In fact, I even know some people that did the JAMB, post-JAMB like 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, just trying to get into medicine, and they end up not getting into medicine. So like getting into med school in Nigeria is really quite difficult. However, in Philippines, it's not as difficult as back home in Nigeria. In fact, in Philippines, to get admission into medical school, basically what you require is your WAEC. So far you have done, like, you have the passing grades for your WAEC, that you passed your WAEC, you can actually apply to any medical school in Philippines, and you're sure that you'll be given admission. However, there's an exam that is specific for medical students here. It's called MMAT. MMAT is an exam that is basically taken by students who want to study medicine in Philippines. And this exam, for some schools, it depends on the school you want to get into. Some schools require that you get like at least 40 percentile, some schools 50, some school as high as 70, 80. So it depends on, it varies depending on your school. But this exam, actually, I just feel like it's, if you study well, if you sit down, study well, you're actually going to pass the exam. One thing I like about Philippines is that they give everyone equal chance to get into medical school. Then when you get into medical school, it's left for you as a person to get serious, study your book, and do very well in your first year to be able to promote it to the next year. However, in Nigeria, they don't even give you that opportunity, at least to show yourself in your first year. That's one thing I like about the Philippines medical system here. It's not so difficult to get into medical school, so that's one thing you should keep at the back of your mind. So if, just in case someone who has been writing JAM, and you feel that they can afford studying in the Philippines, I think maybe you should just share this video with them and let them know about Philippines. So another important point I actually want to talk about is transferring schools. Actually, when I came here and I heard about it, like it was really shocking to me, because it's something like I've never heard about in Nigeria. So in Philippines, you are actually allowed to transfer schools. So this is what I mean. Let's assume, let's say after your first year in a particular medical school, you do not like maybe their teaching style, or maybe there's something you don't really like about that school. Here in Philippines, you're actually allowed to transfer schools. It's not difficult to transfer to another school of your choice. So basically, all you need to do is to process your documents and your transcripts from your current school, and then you use your transcripts and your documents to just apply to the next to the other school you want to apply. So far you have the passing grade from your school, so far you passed that particular year, you can actually use those documents and apply into another school of your choice, and you'll be admitted. But this is something like, I'm not sure I've heard about it. Personally, for me, I've never heard about someone who transferred from one medical school in Nigeria to another medical school. It's basically like, if you get admitted into a particular medical school in Nigeria, you are expected to have all your education in that particular year. So that means you're going to spend your 6 years or your 7 years studying in that particular school. But in Philippines, it's quite different. So I actually like it, because there's more like flexibility. So imagine, like, some of us, like some foreign students, actually, when they get here, maybe the school where they were admitted, or where they process their documents, maybe after their first year, they find out that maybe there's something they don't really like about that school. It's not like they'll end up being stuck to that particular school. They give you this flexibility, would I say, to transfer schools to any school of your choice, which I actually feel it's really amazing. Nigeria, after you graduate, there is no board exam, basically. So in Nigeria, there are professional exams they write when they are still in school. It's called second MB. I think they write it in their second year or so. Second MB, third MB, fourth MB, fifth MB. Yeah. So after these examinations, and these examinations are basically equivalent to like normal board exams. So after they graduate, they don't get to write another board exam. Then after they graduate, then they proceed to do their housemanship. However, in Philippines, after their fourth year, that's after graduation, they go ahead to do a one-year internship called postgraduate internship. So for me, I feel that postgraduate internship, it's actually called PGI here. I think it's equivalent to the housemanship that is being done in Nigeria. So after the Filipinos graduate from medical school, they go ahead to do the 1 year PGI, that is postgraduate internship. Then after the postgraduate internship, they go ahead to write their board exam. So you see the difference. In Nigeria, there is no extra board exam per se after you graduate. After you graduate, you just go ahead to do your housemanship. There is no other extra board exams you need to write. So, next thing I want to point out is the strike situation in Nigeria. So in Nigeria, the same way we have CHED in Philippines, that's how we have ASU and NASU. ASU means Academic Staff Union, NASU means Non-Academic Staff Union. So sometimes these unions may have disagreements with the government, and then they would just decide to go on strike. Strike basically means that maybe they will decide to stop working, or they will decide that they will stop teaching. So what happens to the students at these times of strike? That means they are going to be losing out on their academic years. I also pointed out this in the video I made on why I chose to study in Philippines. I remember during my sister's set, my sister trained in a Nigerian school, and I remember there was a period they were on strike for about 6 months. So imagine spending 6 months not going to school. Imagine what that's going to the kind of effect it will have on your academic school year. So you know, automatically you're already having 1 extra year in school. So I really do not like the strike situations in Nigeria, and I just feel it's something the government needs to address, because these doctors, these lecturers, these teachers, it's not like they are demanding so much from the government. They just want a fair share. But every time, imagine during my sister's set, as far back as 2006 or 2007 thereabout, till 2021, they are still going back and forth having strikes. I don't even like, whenever I think about it, it really drives me crazy, because this is 2021. We don't need to keep talking about the same thing. Imagine that. And then when they go on strike, these things affect students. You can see people who stay up to 8 years, 9 years in medical school. This is something that is supposed to be just 6 years, but at the end of the day, students stay for like two extra years, 3 extra years. That's depending on if you're passing or. Just imagine that. So that's something I really do not like about Nigeria, especially the medical school. Medical school is already long enough, and then you now prolong it again with the strike situations. Like every time I talk about it, it really gets me upset. But here in Philippines, there is nothing like strike. Like, you are sure that, for example, in my own case, I know that by 2023 I should be graduating by the grace of God. Like, what I'm saying is that if they tell you 4 years, I always say this thing, please just let me repeat it. If they tell you that it's 4 years in Philippines, it's 4 years. Nobody is going to go on strike or anything like that. Like, do you get? So that's one thing you should also consider. Like, if you don't want to experience the strike situation in Nigeria, then I just feel like if coming here or if studying in Philippines is affordable for you, that if it's something your family can afford, then maybe you should consider, you know, trying somewhere else. And then coming to uniforms, Philippines is like a uniform country. Like if you're coming here to study, just know that you're going to be wearing school uniform. School uniform is a big deal here. It's compulsory. I think almost all schools wear uniforms. Starting from my first year, our uniform in medical school is white and white. I think it's same basically for almost all courses. Not all courses though, but just have it at the back of your mind that you're going to be wearing white and white from your first year to your final year. I actually spoke with my friend who also trained in Nigeria last night. I was asking her about the uniform situation, and yes, they also wear uniforms in medical schools in Nigeria, but I'm not sure if it's white and white. But here in Philippines, if you're coming over to study medicine in Philippines, just condition your mind that you will be wearing white and white all throughout your schooling year. So another thing I would like to point out to you guys between studying medicine in these two countries is that in Philippines is actually something I really don't like. We pay yearly, or we renew our student visa yearly. So every year you're expected to renew your visa. I renewed my visa, I think in February or January thereabout, and it costs between 12,000 to 13,000 peso. So that's the amount you'll be spending every year renewing your visa. That's about 12,000 peso, as at today's current rate is about 120,000 naira, which is a lot of money. I don't really know why it's like that. It's how this is how I came, and I was told this is this is how it works here, and I've been doing it. And if you're coming in fact, when you're even coming here, they don't even give you a student visa from Nigeria. What they give you is a tourist visa. So when you now come here, that's when you can now convert to your students, convert the tourist visa to your student visa. I really don't know why they do that. It's something personally I really don't like. I don't know about other foreign students, but for me personally, I just don't understand the idea behind that. We are coming here to school to study, but then you give us a tourist visa, and then when we come here, even when we get the student visa, we are not even given the student visa that will cover the duration of our stay here. We get to renew it every single year, and that's a lot of money. So it's something you should also have at the back of your mind if you're considering coming here to study. But aside that, I think that's one of the things I really don't like about the visa processing to Philippines. But aside that, the medical school here is great. Then the next thing I would like to also compare or talk about in studying in these two countries is basically, I feel like in Philippines, the doctors, the teachers, the lecturers, but well, our lecturers are mostly doctors. I just feel like they are more approachable, will I say, when you compare it to Nigerian lecturers or doctors. Like here, you can ask questions, you know, they are very free, they are very open, but I'm not sure, I don't know how I'll say this so it doesn't sound weird. Philippines, there's a very, you can easily interact with your teacher. You can actually ask them questions. They are very, very approachable. They are more open. We don't see them as mini gods or like the way it is in Nigeria. Well, I'm not saying that there are no good doctors that are teachers or lecturers back in Nigeria, but I'm just like you know, kind of using the average number. They are more approachable here in Philippines than back home. Another thing I think I should point out in studying in Philippines and also medical school in Nigeria is actually the tuition. So basically, if you're studying in Nigeria, you actually know that you're paying your tuition in the local currency, which is Naira. However, if you're studying in Philippines and let's say your sponsors are Nigerians, like maybe your family in Nigeria, obviously that means your tuition, you're getting your tuition in Naira. Now the problem is the conversion rates are actually not stable. So your conversion rate is actually based on the day's rates. You know, the rates have been fluctuating. In fact, since I came here, the Naira to peso rates have been fluctuating because of the unstable, you know, currency exchange and all that. I remember when I came here in my first year, to convert from Naira, so you basically divide by 7.04, but right now it's divided by 10. So let's assume you get 100,000 Naira from Nigeria. By the time you're converting it to peso equivalent, that's 100,000 divided by 10. That means you're left with 10,000 Naira. So your tuition actually depends on the conversion rate at the time, you know, at the rates at the time you're making your conversions. However, if you're studying in Nigeria, you actually know, you know, you're just paying directly in Naira. So it's just something you have to, you know, keep at the back of your mind. But I don't think this is something specific to people stop studying in Philippines. Even if you're studying in the UK, Canada, wherever you're studying, and you're also getting your tuition from in Naira, you still have to convert, right? So it's actually not something specific to people studying in Philippines. So yeah, these are some of the things I wanted to highlight between studying medicine in Nigeria and studying medicine in Philippines. So if you watched to this extent, thank you so much for watching my video. I am very grateful. If you have not yet subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and also turn on your notification bell so that you get notified every time I make a post. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be signing out now. See you in my next video. Hey. Thank you.